Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening to everyone and happy Friday. It's DuEwa back for a new episode of That's Code, my new culture podcast. I've done a few other episodes. I think I went live a week or two ago. Talked about some culture topics. I probably had a little too much fun. Okay. So now I'm back again. I'm back. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Okay, I said I wasn't going to clown today. I had a full week and I really shouldn't have a whole lot of energy, but I do. So hopefully we can enjoy some current topics in culture and news and just kind of see what's going on That's Code with DuEwa. So I've got a few topics that I wanted to talk about tonight. Let me kind of go through some notes here. And just a disclaimer, this podcast is mainly for entertainment. I have given opinion, but tonight I'm just going to, report on some things. And if people want to join in and give me their opinion and things that they think on some of the topics that I'm presenting, great. If not, that's also great. But we're just kind of just going to roll on with some culture news and entertainment news and some other type news. It's not necessarily culture, but pertaining to people in the culture. And, just kind of what's going on. All right, so let me just jump right in. I know I'm a few minutes behind, but hope you all don't mind. It's Friday night. People are probably just getting in from work, just kind of getting a little relaxed and unwinding and that kind of thing. Okay, so let me make sure I have my water here. Pull up with my water. Okay, so the first topic, Andre 3000. Big congrats for Andre 3000, who has just released a new album, the first album in 17 years. Yay, Andre Benjamin. Okay, so Andre's new album is titled New Blue Sun, and people have been kind of talking about the fact that, okay, he's saying, right, I know you all were probably looking forward to a rap full hip hop album, because that's what we know him as, one half of the dynamic hip hop duo from Atlanta proper, Outkast, Big Boy, Andre 3000, that's how we met him. And they really burst on the scene with so many of their albums, back in the day. And then Andre broke off and had his own music, the hey, and then he was coming with his style and doing his thing. And so, we love Andre 3000 because he's so versatile. The brother has so much talent. But recently, I believe, based on the new music that he's offering, he's really taking time to, it seems, to reflect, right, on his journey. And he's really incorporating a lot of other sounds and other kinds of music into his new offering. So I had the chance to listen to this album, so to speak, digitally. It has beautiful, beautiful songs. Let me just describe it for you, just some of the notes that I took. So it's very beautiful just by sound alone. It's featuring chimes, bells, cymbals, drums, synthesizers. You can kind of hear in some of the songs some light nature sounds, birds chirping. You also hear sounds that sound like working with metal or working with wood and working with different, items and what sounds those make. I don't know. It just really gives nature sounds, and it makes me think about Reiki music. If any of you are familiar with Reiki music, that energy work, whenever you get Reiki or you get a massage or something like that, the therapists are always playing this really cool, very relaxing, meditative music that puts you in a very calm state. So the album New Blue Sun, in case I didn't mention, the new music by Andre 3000, features 9 songs Some of the songs are like 10 minutes or a little more. Some are 12, some are 13 minutes. Some are like closer to maybe 8 or 9 minutes. But listening to the music, it kind of reminds me of like Far East, Middle Eastern music, Tibetan singing bells. Also, it sounds very meditative as well, like the music that you might hear in a yoga class, or the music that might be used for lyrical dance. So it's just very calming, very meditative kind of sounds, right? So what else? I also listened to the album to get kind of what would be my favorite songs that I could really like listen to and relax to. And I would say out of all the songs, I listened to the 9 songs, and I think my 2 favorite, just based on sound alone, would be The Slang Word. And he has another song called Ants to You, Gods to Who. So if you get a chance to check out Andre 3000's new album, it's called New Blue Sun. It's very much, to me, meditative sounds, Far Eastern sounds, maybe even music that you might hear in spiritual, reflective classes, meditation classes, yoga, Reiki, so that kind of music. So I'm really proud of Andre 3000. I mean, it's showing a lot of range that he has for his musical tastes, and that he's really willing to share this music with the public at this time, especially heading into the new year. So I think it's really awesome. So once again, congratulations for Andre 3000. All right, so that was topic 1. And where are we at? I want to kind of keep track of my time. Okay, so we're good. So that was topic 1. My next topic, so we're talking about Snoop D-O-double-G, right? Unc, as they call him, Uncle Snoop. Uncle Snoop has made an announcement recently. Not sure what you think about this, but it's something that's quite surprising given how Snoop Dogg has marketed himself over the years. And on November 16th at 5:55 p.m., that's right, Snoop Dogg posted on Instagram that he is quitting smoking, as in he's done with the smoke, you all. Like, this is so huge. So he posted a photo of himself with the words, "After much consideration and conversation with my family, I've decided to give up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time. Snoop Dogg." So, you know this went viral because all over social media, people are like, what does this even mean? I mean, I don't know. When I think of Snoop Dogg, you think of that very famous song, Gin and Juice, right? What were the lyrics? Rolling down the street, smoking, sipping on. Okay, everybody knows those lyrics, right? It's just synonymous with Snoop Dogg. He had some other songs, like basically Snoop Dogg became synonymous with smoking. Just the whole, it became very acceptable with him. Like, you knew that kind of that's what he was about. It was a part of his lifestyle and a part of how he even, entertains and his lyrics. He has songs, Smoking On with Wiz Khalifa. Another song, what was the other song? Smoke Weed Every Day. Like, all these different songs through the years, right? That really kind of talk about that lifestyle and what he's into. However, seeing that there's so many people that are in a new season, right? This is a new season for a lot of folks. A new season for people to really release and throw off things that no longer work for them. So I take my hat off to Snoop Dogg if this is something that he wants to do, and he is very much ready to kind of like take that step and, not have, that with him. I take my hat off to him if that's something that he feels he needs to give up. And again, I'm just talking about Snoop Dogg, who just made his announcement on November 16th on social media that he is no longer going to partake in smoking. And we know what that means. I'm not going to get so far off into it, but we know that that has been a part of his image, it's been a part of his brand, and so it will be very interesting how Snoop Dogg will move forward with his image, brand, and things of that nature without, I guess, that aspect of how we've grown very used to seeing him. Okay, all right, so congratulations to Snoop Dogg. All right, so what do we have next? Okay, Tracy Chapman. You all remember Tracy Chapman? Yes. Okay, well, he just announced it again yesterday. Right. Okay, so Tracy Chapman, singer-songwriter who we grew to love, singer-songwriter musician, we grew to love her for her song Fast Car. This is a song that debuted many years ago, back in 1988. And now in 2023, Tracy Chapman has just won Song of the Year. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and before I give you the wrong stats, let me just Google this real quick. Is she the first Black artist or the first Black woman to win Song of the Year for Fast Car? Let me just... Yep, that's right. Bingo. Congratulations to Tracy Chapman. She won Song of the Year with the Country Music Awards. That aired earlier this month. She is the first Black songwriter to receive this kind of honor from the Country Music Awards. Now, I know some people may say, well, oh, that's not a big deal. If you're not in the country, it's not a big deal. But country music is actually a very widely supported music genre here in the U.S. And with Tracy Chapman winning a song, a actual Song of the Year for this song that was covered by singer Luke Combs, this actually is a very big deal, seeing that the song originally was, written and performed and all of that so many years ago. But this is not Tracy's only honor for Fast Car. The song received 3 Grammy Award nominations in the late 80s as well. She received a Grammy for Best Female Pop Vocalist, right? So Tracy has received honors, but this is the latest one to date. So just want to congratulate Tracy Chapman. If you all don't know the song Fast Car, definitely look it up. It's a beautiful song. And kudos to Tracy for this honor. Okay, so moving on to next topic, some good news for Keke Palmer. I think on my last podcast, I talked about some challenging issues that Miss Palmer was having related in personal family life. But there's always good news on the horizon for people. And so we're glad to hear that it's been announced that Keke Palmer will host the Soul Train Music Awards later this month. So despite what the young woman has been going through, we know that Keke is an actress and a singer. She's quite entertaining. If you've ever checked out her skits on TikTok, on Instagram, she is a very talented young woman. So we certainly want to see her do well. The Soul Train Music Awards will be taped in Los Angeles, and they will premiere on BET on Sunday, November 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Standard. So some of the artists who are going to appear and perform on the Soul Train Music Awards include BJ the Chicago Kid, Coco Jones, Dante Bowe, Friday, Mooney Long, SWV, and many, many more. And so we also want to shout out Summer Walker, SZA, and Usher are leading with nominations for the Soul Train Music Awards this year, and they each have 9 each. Okay, so shout out to Keke Palmer, and just want to congratulate her on that good bit of news. We know that she's gone through some challenges lately, so definitely sending her good vibes and congratulations on being the host of this year's Soul Train Music Awards. Okay, and so let me just type in here. because I invited a friend to guest with me, but I haven't quite gotten to that topic yet because I was a little bit late. So what time is it? Okay, we got a few minutes. So how many more topics do I have before we get to that one? 2. All right. So in 10 minutes, we'll be on that in about 10. Or you know what? Let me make that in about 6 minutes. You know how time on internet time is not the same as regular time. Everything moves quicker on the internet. Okay, that's just my take, y'all. Don't just bear with me. Okay. Lenny Kravitz. I got to give a shout out to Lenny Kravitz. He is a whole vibe these days, with the silky locks and, the sinewy bod and all of that. He went viral this week by dancing to an oldie but goodie love song. Y'all know this song, Don't Look Any Further, sung by Dennis Edwards featuring Saidia Garrett. So Lenny Kravitz, if you look him up, if you follow him on Instagram, you've seen this video. It's like he's coming out of his room, the music is playing, and he just starts, grooving, and he's giving you a little shoulder action, he's giving you the hand action, then he's giving you the hip action, and then he's giving you the fancy footwork, and it's like, come on, Lenny. All right. So the Shade Room and other outlets reposted this video of Lenny dancing, and of course they asked folks to chime in. What would you say to Lenny Kravitz or whatever if you saw him in person or what have you, whatever they posted. So a lot of people were giving a lot of love to Lenny, just looking really good and being entertaining and dancing and doing what he does. I just feel like Lenny Kravitz is a whole vibe right through here. I think he started our fall season off with that photo of himself in the long brown scarf. If you all saw that, Lenny has the colossal scarves that he wears, and it's just a whole mood with it, with his style being so eclectic as it is. But you can also follow, if you don't follow Lenny on Instagram, you can also follow him on TikTok. He's getting a lot of love right now. And he has, I want to also mention, he has new music out that was released last month, a song called TK421. And it's a song from his forthcoming album that will be released in March of next year, March 15th of 2024. And his new album is called Blue Electric Light. So for all of you Lenny Kravitz fans who love to collect his work and his albums, definitely check that out. And I believe it's on pre-order and you can listen to it on Spotify and all the major music, digital music outlets. So congrats to Lenny, and we hope he will keep rocking and keep doing what he does. And just in connection to Lenny, it's so funny that Lenny's gone viral this week. But his former spouse, Lisa Bonet, had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to Lisa Bonet, also known as Lilikoi Moon. Lisa Bonet shares, you all probably know, shares a daughter with Lenny Kravitz named Zoe Kravitz, who is an actress. And you all know that Lisa Bonet is best known for her acting roles playing Denise Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and also the hit show A Different World, which I still watch. I love that show. When it comes on late at night, or they do the, the marathons on Saturdays. I just love that show so much. So happy birthday to Lisa Bonet. Okay, so where are we at on time? And we're at 7:27. I said it would be 6 minutes. Okay, cut that down to 4 minutes. All right. Let me have here, and I want her to pronounce her name. I don't want to mispronounce it. If you are still on, let's go with that topic. I'm going to click your name. Hopefully, let's see. Okay. It's my sister Hamptonian here. I'm inviting on, and hopefully we can go ahead and wrap on this for a minute. Yes, ma'am. How are you
Hello.
doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I do not want to mispronounce your name because it happens to me so often.
No problem.
How do you say your first name?
It's Corinne Koger.
Okay, it's Corinne.
Yes.
Cougar or Koger?
Koger.
Koger.
Not a cougar yet.
Okay, got you. No, I'm sorry. Corinne, that is so pretty because I didn't. Okay, got you.
Thank you.
All right, Corinne is here. Corinne Esquire.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. She is here, and I invited her on because we have a matter at hand. And so thank you for accepting my invitation, Corinne. Corinne is would you say, what is the proper term, attorney or lawyer?
I'm an attorney.
Okay.
All attorneys are lawyers. Let's put it that way. All lawyers are not attorneys.
Okay. I got to try to remember. All attorneys are lawyers. All lawyers are not attorneys.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Corinne, right?
Yes.
Okay, Corinne. So Sean Diddy Combs, it has just been announced. I just cannot believe it. I don't want to believe it. Okay. Sean Diddy Combs, also known as Love. According to a source, it's went viral already, but I'm just quoting NPR in case you want to know where I'm getting my sources from. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a source. According to NPR, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who he dated for 10 years, has filed suit against him in the matter of for alleged emotional and physical abuse, alleged human trafficking, alleged rape, and other allegations. This was filed in the Southern District of New York courts yesterday. The lawsuit details decades of alleged, I'm saying alleged on purpose, y'all, of alleged manipulation, intimidation, and coercion that Ventura endured. And very interesting, it's interesting for the public to understand that Miss Ventura filed this suit under New York's Adult Survivors Act, a recently passed bill that opened up a one-year look-back window allowing adult survivors. Okay, we're blurry, thank you. I can't, I see clearness. I don't see blurriness on my end, but thank you, Apple Pie Brittany. Opened up a one-year look-back window allowing adult survivors whose statute of limitations have expired, giving them the ability to file a civil case against their accused offender. This is according to what is in NPR. We know that Sean Diddy Combs is the founder of Bad Boy Records, which started in 1993 and brought us such acts as Notorious Big, Mace, Foxy Brown, Mary J. Blige, and 112, among others. Okay, that's my spiel.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But you know what? Before we get started, I do have to give my disclaimer. Even though I am an attorney, I'm on here, guys, for educational purposes only. Nothing that is said here should be construed as legal advice.
Yes, ma'am. I agree. Okay, Corinne, what does this mean? Girl, what is
this
going
means on? Diddy is in big trouble.
I don't think, has he ever been in big trouble? I don't think he's ever been in big trouble.
Not like this. Not like this. Remember, he did have that matter with J-Lo, where, you know, he actually did have to appear in court. But this is huge. This is, I'm not going to say other things weren't huge, but these are very heinous acts he's been accused of. And there have been rumors about Diddy for decades about how he treats women, how he treats men, how he treats the artists.
Do we need to say allegedly?
Allegedly.
There have been rumors, and then do we need to say allegedly?
Yes.
I
thought the rumors covered it, but we'll go with allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah. So allegedly, the way he has treated women, men, artists, people that he's worked with, and now this is the first time there's been a true legal action that is putting him in the middle of this for also the world to see. Because if you recall, I believe when he had the incident where J-Lo was there in the club, I don't think I know, first of all, we didn't have social media. So we
No,
were
we didn't, you're right.
still, we were still finding out about it a couple weeks later if we got our Vibe
That's
magazine
right.
in the mail, but this matter hit and everybody's on top of it. The filing is public and everybody's talking. And I've been busy all day, as you know.
I'm sure you have, sis. Yes.
Trying to.
That's why I said, let me get you early in the AM before my day
Yes.
got started.
Yes. Just trying to educate folks because,
Yes.
I understand this is not everybody's forte,
No.
but the line I came up with today is let's stop getting our news from memes. Let's go and produce a source, produce a news article
True.
that is quoting something. And in this case, we have the 35-page complaint. So we can talk about what she has accused him of.
I did see that, by the way, and I understand there were some folks saying, you know what, I don't want to read through that. There's even, the trigger warning and all of that, which I understand can be a bit much for people. I read through as much of it as I could, just in preparation to just even if just to talk a bit on it without making judgment, I guess, because I understand a suit does not necessarily mean it is fact.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So this is what he has been accused of.
Okay.
So the first 25 pages of the complaint, they give the introduction and they go by step things that Cassie is claiming as fact.
Sure.
Okay. And then the last part of the complaint goes into what laws they are claiming that he broke.
Right.
Okay. And what, like I said, I've been doing a lot of educating today, and just by way of background, a lot of people know me as a trademark attorney, but I started off doing criminal defense and did that for 8 years. Okay. Also did, civil defense for 10 years. So I was a trial attorney. I was the one trying these cases. So I do feel like I am able to speak to this with sure. More knowledge than the average person. So she's filed this complaint and he's going to have to answer the complaint.
Okay.
All right. So everything that she has accused him of, he has to number just like she did 1 through 100 or whatever. Right. Say admit, deny, not enough evidence. There are a whole bunch of things that defendants can say to answer what they have been accused of. So this is just the beginning of this process.
And I don't know if it's too early to ask something like this. So it was filed in New York. Does that mean that very act that was mentioned in the NPR article, is that not an act that might be in California, or this is just
that's definitely a New York act. Okay. The specific act that is going to expire on November 23rd.
Wow.
Yes. So that was another argument today. A lot of people are saying, well, why is she coming forward now?
Why now?
Did she waste all this time? So that act gave people who allegedly were victims of crime, if the charges that they wanted to bring against somebody, if the statute of limitations had expired, this act allowed them to come to the civil court, not the criminal court, to bring a complaint. And I have a friend who works in that district attorney's office, and she says they are slammed with so many complaints. Wow. Yeah. So when people say,
while these people may be famous people, in other words, they're getting what do you call it? I guess cases or filings from
people all over the state.
From all over. Okay.
Yeah. All over the state.
Okay.
And just to add to that, again, when people are like, well, why did she wait until now? Cassie is a human. If you read through what she has accused him of, it is quite traumatizing. Yeah. And nobody has you don't have a time clock on when can I talk about it. The time clock is set by the courts as to when the statute of limitations, run out, or you only have until this day to bring a complaint, and then you lose that chance to do it. But you don't have a time clock on when a person feels like they're ready to go public with something that has traumatically, allegedly done to them.
That's what bothers me about, like, even being in the car listening to the radio, you still have people saying, well, why? I don't understand why you would. Well, she's had children by another man. Well, she's been with someone else since then. Why would you? And I'm like, wow, you, like, are y'all serious?
Mhm.
And it even is surprising when you hear women say things like that. And I'm like, so you can't imagine or put yourself in that person's shoes, that, like you were saying, Corinne, there's not a time clock on when you thaw out from, like, trauma.
Right.
There's not a time. It might feel to her like it just happened
Right.
yesterday, even though she was able to move on in a relationship and have children. I'm like, what does that have to do with you allegedly having gone through something traumatic? Like, it doesn't leave you.
Right.
Whether you get in a new relationship or not, that might even bring it out even more.
Correct. Correct.
Just my opinion. Let me just say.
I agree.
Just so I am. I appreciate your knowledge and expertise in this. I realize I could really only just give my opinion. My heart goes out to anyone who has been a victim of abuse, of physical, sexual, emotional, psychological, otherwise. But I also understand that this is an accusation at this point, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so I'm understanding it's an accusation. Of course, we hope that, that this would not be the case. However, I am a believer in, if someone has done things of these kinds of nature, these kinds of things, that it should be brought, out, and there should be justice for the person who was harmed. That's my feeling on it. I'm not saying either way on Diddy. I don't know whether he did or didn't do these things. But I certainly wish Cassie the best, and I wish wholeness for her and anyone else affected or involved possibly in this situation here.
Me too.
Well, Corinne, did you have any other words, any other thoughts, closing thoughts you wanted to add or say, just in terms of, like, is there anything you would advise on people kind of like keeping an open mind and not, like, not, what do you call it, convicting her? Just as, I heard someone even say on the radio today, well, everyone is coming for our successful Black men. I think this is another ploy to bring a Black man down.
Right.
That's an interesting narrative as well. And I'm like, wow, I think that it's so, it's so hard for us to separate, that we do often think, oh, if something is said about a successful Black man that doesn't put him in the best light, oh, it must be trumped up. It must be false. It must be, something that the powers that be, are doing to bring them down.
Correct.
And then I heard the question, so why can't it just be that, so how do you know that it's not just, okay, here's an individual that may have allegedly done XYZ. It doesn't have to be a Black man is being brought down.
That's correct. And so, of course, people are mentioning R. Kelly.
Yeah.
People are mentioning Bill Cosby, both who have faced suits, in court, both who have been convicted and found guilty. And when Cassie brings this complaint, like I said, she goes through step by step. These are the things that I said he did to me. The next step is he has a chance to answer yes, no, maybe part of that is correct, maybe part of that's wrong. And then they go into a process that's called discovery.
Oh.
So this is a whole long process. So if you think about a lot of the court shows that you see on TV, and people go into depositions, they have the right to sit across from the attorney and be questioned, and people have to answer. Another thing about Cassie is she did name names of witnesses in this complaint.
Yeah.
So, I suspect that these people will be subpoenaed if they're not coming in voluntarily to testify. There are other people, medical officials, people who worked in hotels.
I saw that
could
too.
be brought in.
Yeah, well, I won't name it here, but yeah, hotels, and there were staff people named, and
exactly. And at
the
end of the day, Cassie is the one that actually has to prove that this occurred.
Is it
Like I
her
said,
personally or her and her
oh,
team?
her and her
Her and her
team, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they say they're going to go into discovery, they're going to go out, find witnesses, take statements. There's a process, a paperwork that's exchanged called interrogatories, where they both have a chance to ask each other questions about what they've been accused of, or what witnesses you have, who are you going to bring, what do you suspect they're going to
Will
say.
she have to talk to him
No,
personally at any point?
no.
Is that is not necessary?
No,
Okay.
not necessary.
Yeah.
And then oftentimes too, when you have women that are in a domestic violence situation and they are brought into the court system, there is some additional support for
Yeah.
them. Now, he does have the right to take the stand, and he has the right to defend himself. We're going to have to come back if this actually goes to trial,
Sure.
because that's a whole
Totally.
nother set of
Girl, that's a whole
issues.
nother. Yes.
Right. But if they
Yes.
go to deposition, she does not have to sit there with him.
While he's answering to these various
Right.
items. Gotcha.
It can be requested. They could want it, but there are ways in the legal system that protects
To
people.
go around that.
Yeah.
Sure. Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Corinne. I appreciate it, and I hope we can stay in touch. I'm sure that if this should move on, I'd love to chat with you again
Absolutely.
and get your perspective and all. And if nothing else, just to say, hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey, and Hampton hugs. I got to give you
Hampton
Hampton
hugs,
hugs
exactly.
virtually.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Corinne. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. So I was just on with Corinne Koger Esquire, who was giving some perspectives, and we were kind of chatting it up as we could on this news about Sean Diddy Combs and the suit filed against him in the alleged contents, the alleged acts or behaviors that involves. However, we're going to move on to the next item here. Okay, so Jada Pinkett Smith, who you all know, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, was recently, she has a new book out, and let me get, want to make sure I get the title of Jada's new book. She's been on a tour, and her new book is titled Worthy. And so Jada has a memoir where she's detailing her childhood, her work and personal life, and her relationship and all of that. So she was recently a guest on The Breakfast Club. You all know that's a popular radio show in New York. And that's hosted by DJ Envy. Shout out to DJ Envy, a fellow Hamptonian, and also Charlemagne the God. And Jada Pinkett was on for about maybe an hour or so, maybe about that the other day. And one of the clips that they posted on their YouTube is about Jada talking about that men and women should have friends of the opposite sex. And she was getting into a discussion about how she had that good friendship with rapper actor Tupac Shakur, may he rest in peace, and how at the time, she was just mentioning that her husband, Will Smith, may not have quite understood that connection, because she said that, back then, during their time, men and women were not seen as being like, oh, they're just friends. Like if you saw a man and a woman together, it was assumed that they were dating, that it was more than just, a friendship. So Jada basically detailed that, she had to kind of explain and help Will Smith, I guess, understand what that friendship was about for her with Tupac. And as a result, Jada is a supporter of men and women being friends and having that connection, that platonic connection rather, and being able to learn from one another and things like that. So I mentioned that to say, or to rather ask you all, do you think that men and women should always try to foster friendships? Like, we know there's the whole dating romance thing, but what if you're already in a relationship? What if you're in a relationship? Do you feel it's appropriate or warranted that you would have a friendship from someone of the opposite sex, even though you're in a relationship, dating relationship, or you're engaged, or you're married? You know, should a partner have to accept that you have a close friendship with someone of the opposite sex? So that's just a question that I wanted to pose to you all, okay? All right, so that kind of nears the end of my culture topics. So I wanted to also share, I do a lot of posting of like what I call positive memes or positive inspirational quotes. I find it to be very uplifting, and I think, you know, some of my followers can relate to these quotes and memes and can kind of get some inspiration out of it. So I wanted to discuss some positive memes and inspirational quotes that I found this week. So let's see if we can share a few of them. Okay, so here's one. And I generally share these. A lot of times I'll share them with music because I just think it's so cool to put music with inspirational quotes. Okay, so here's one. The people you meet are either reflections of a repeated cycle or guides toward a new start. Notice the difference. What do you think about that? So if you're someone who's met anyone new, could be a friend, associate, or someone else. If you're someone who's met anyone new in this season, who are they to you? Are they a representative of a repeated cycle? Are they a guide or a leader starting off a new cycle for you? Okay, so that's one positive quote or positive meme from this week. All right, let's look at the next one. Let me go to, hold on. Here's another one, and this speaks to the holiday season, and a lot of you might really want this one. Holiday reminder. This is a positive meme, positive quote. Holiday reminder. You are not obligated to continue holiday traditions that leave you broke, overwhelmed, or tired. How many of you can relate to that? Maybe it's just relating just to one of those things. In other words, it's okay to use holiday to also replenish yourself, right? It's okay to use holiday to also restore yourself. It doesn't have to be you running yourself ragged for the sake of holiday, right? Okay, so that's one. So let's share one more. Can we get to one more? Oh, this is one of my favorites for the week. Okay, there are two places you need to go often. One, the place that heals you, and two, the place that inspires you. So I'm going to leave you with that final thought, thinking about what is the place that heals you and what is the place that inspires you. Okay, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm DuEwa Frazier signing off. This has been an episode of That's Code podcast, where I talk culture news, where I celebrate the culture, where I also talk about things that concern the culture or that concern the folks who support the culture. So that's really what we're here for. And this is for education purposes only. Okay, thank you so much. And you all have a blessed day and a safe weekend.